Always be the deepest defender.
Ready to go. Cracking contest here. The Cats, the reigning premiers, on a defensive mission. Sandilands with the knock as expected. Here is Fyfe. Handball missed Ballantyne. Opportunity now for Johnson. Picked up in the end there by Broughton. So Fremantle just slow. Duffield had the kick smothered, and now Mazungu gets the ball out wide. Not that accurate though. Lonigan closes it down. Will play a key role in the Cats' defence. Here's Main. Watched him warming up. He looked very excited about the opportunity today. Fyfe, Duffield, Johnson with a bit of a no-look at a Main. Almost gone, Main. Got the kick away. Up goes the opportunity with Mellington. Couldn't hold the mark. And they'll get a chance to regain their composure here.
Interesting at that first centre bounce. Pavlich came off the wing. His direct opponent was going to be Tom Lonigan. He stood at the back of the square and picked him up on the way through. So Kepler Bradley is playing centre half forward on Harry Taylor.
Boundary throw in at the Fremantle end of the ground. Zungu went past the ball. The Cats advance it. Duffield probably should have taken that mark. Ground level. Broughton went with the leg instead of the hands. A real scrappy affair here at the moment. Dean Margate says we'll throw it up, boys.
Tucked into it, Adam. Hey, I'm here, Steve. 10 die, let's go.
Umpire just asserting a bit of authority early.
Oh, he likes it, Dean. He's a real powerful man with the whistle.
Authoritarian, isn't he?
He loves to lay it down early.
His lands his arm. You can't hold it, Oren.
Loves to lay down the law early, does Dean. Aaron Sandilands got the ball. And here go the Fremantle Dockers. Kick goes in towards Kepler Bradley. Done quite well in the NAB Cup in that position there. Here's the little man. Here's Ballantyne. Went for Mellington. Didn't quite get good spoil by the Cats in the end. Duffield. Sandilands, Hill under enormous pressure. Likewise McPhee. Pavlich playing in front of Lonigan.
This inside 50 set up with the ruck infringement. I think it'd be worth getting the runner out and reminding young Oren on debut that potentially he should just not give away the free kicks. Let's get down to Cameron Ling at ground level.
Richo spot on there. Pavlich started on the wing, but he did what he always does. He charged forward hard. I noticed that Tom Lonigan was there ready to pick him off, but Pavlich is playing in front beautifully.
A little bit of breeze helping over the right shoulder of Matthew Pavlich. The distance here should not be a problem for this big kick of the ball. From just beyond 50, Pavlich comes in. Good-looking ball to lift the purple haze out of their seats for the first time. Matthew Pavlich able to convert. The fans are ecstatic.
And that was just a quick kick that's come out of centre half forward. And this guy, Matthew Pavlich, he reads the ball off the boot as well as anyone. Nearly 500 goals in AFL football. Playing in front, scrappy kick, perfect forward play, and he's a very, very good finisher. Just interesting to note, Darcy BT, that those three matchups that we worked all week on, not one of them's eventuated at this stage.
Well, at least Nate might have a better opportunity of winning then instead of playing on Bartel.
We're just keeping an eye on Matty Pavlich, who's now drifting again back to centre wing. There he is. So starting, charging in Richo and working his way back, not dissimilar to the role you played in the end.
It's going to be tough doing that. It's hard with guys like him. He'll lose them in traffic. It's tough picking them up on the way through.
Go down to Lingy in a moment, find out whether he sees anything different about the Geelong lineup, any positional attitudes out there from the Cats as they look to go forward. The advantage is paid. Goes into Stevie J. And Johnson, or is it Selwood? It's the latter. Handball off now. Kelly to Podsiadly. Had it in the hands, couldn't quite grab it. Here is Stevie J. And got him high. Lingy, anything you see different about the positioning of the Cats?
I don't think I've noticed, BT, is James Kelly starting on the wing out on Ballantyne. Kel with a fantastic balance in his game. No doubt they really rate Ballantyne and don't want him getting on top today.
What a great sign that is, BT. The big fella, he's had limited preparation, but look at him move.
Look at the big kick up to Harry, who got in front of Bradley. They've got a space here. It is the man with the most enthusiasm in the game. Ballantyne, a lovely chip, weighted kick, needs a good bounce, Hill. He had to wait for it. It gave Kelly time to close him down. Now Bradley, what can the big man do? Just the one hand, Cooter style. Back to Zach Clark.
He was unlucky there, Stephen Hill. He got a shocking bounce. The only thing it didn't want it to do was what it did, and that was bounce up high. But what I'm liking about him already, Richo, the gut run, that was a 150-metre run. He ran past James Kelly, and they tell me he's in ripping physical condition.
Well, if he keeps doing that, Darcy, and getting goal side of his opponent, you can't stop him because he is an elite runner.
Zach Clark, 50 metres out, same distance as Pavlich. It looks damn good. Needs to be left. It is. The Dockers have got a ripping start here.
salary.
Just watch me coming out.
And there's Kepler-Bradley. I've got enormous respect for this guy. He left Essendon, come back over here to Fremantle, and a lot of people probably didn't rate him that highly. He has worked hard, and he's becoming a genuine hard matchup now on the forward line of the Dockers.
Sandlin's doing all right in the middle of the Chapman kick was effective to Johnson. Johnson just forward of the centre, as you can see. Kick inside. Podsiadly and Hawkins, the two targets down there. Neither could pull it in. Chapman. Tackle. Duncan.
Lee McFarlane, get away. No closer, Trent. No closer, Trent. Matty, no closer.
Forced to kick it down the line here. He does that. Sandlin's is the target. The big man, tough to beat him in that sort of form. Ibbotson, the change to Duffield. Duffield can go to Bradley, brings it back in beautifully. Work the angle to McPhee. McPhee's got Bradley out wide if he wants. Goes in that direction. The run of Clancy Pearce on the inside was ignored. Bradley went for Clark and he marked to the square. Unbelievable Fremantle movement.
I'll tell you what, Das. Both of these goals have been created, when he does kick this, by Aaron Sandilands. Geelong normally hem you in that situation. He takes two contested marks and it gets them out.
Clark for the third straight. And an electric start for the Fremantle Dockers.
Richo just spoke about this. What an impact that makes. Nearly 7 feet tall to be able to just stand. Doesn't have to jump, Richo. Puts the big extended arms out. Contested mark. And as you said accurately, that has been a big factor already in this game.
Geelong protecting the wider players, and the angle back inside was magnificent.
This is the other thing that happens too, because, well, it's looking like a free kick to Sandlands.
That's it, Matt. Time back on. Play on.
Some off the ball work going on there with Corey as well. Deep, and once again, the big man with the big mitts. Aaron Sandlands has been simply outstanding early.
Good.
On the head of De Boer. Behind him, Smets. Matty De Boer at half back here. A little kick over the top. Fyfe could have had it. He said no. I'll let Clark mark.
It's got an athletic look about it, this forward line. Clark, Bradley, Pavlich, they're all tall players. They can all mark the ball.
I feel they went into one of their slow plays there, Fremantle. I know they've been drilled beyond belief at training.
Ross Lyon, just a little shake of the head. I think what he'd be saying is play the percentages at Clark. He's athletic. He's had a great start. He's kicked 2 goals. But a short pinpoint pass through a zone setup, probably not within his repertoire just yet.
There's Pavlich. Banged it on the boot, but Geelong got the numbers here. Scarlett's got an eternity to pick it up and find someone. Could have gone wide. He wanted to just bite a little bit more off, and he went to a 2-on-1, and it's not going to work. Could have gone the easy kick wide. He chose not to.
Just can't keep hold of the ball at the moment, Geelong. They don't normally get out-possessed. 35-15. They're just being dominated in possession. They just need to get their hands on the ball and slow the game down for a few minutes.
Gee, they're lively. That's it, Richo. I reckon they need exactly that. Some possession of the ball. It's Crowley.
Winning the contested possession, Fremantle, but they've been very good by foot as well, hitting passes at will.
Crowley down the line. Here comes Clark.
Push out. Advantage, Fremantle, advantage.
You heard the call. De Boer for the 4th straight for Fremantle. Matty De Boer caps it off magnificently. And Fremantle on fire.
Sees their set up everywhere as Chris Scott just has a little shuffle in the seat, starting to feel the pinch. Here's the free kick. Well done, Zach Clark. You've got to be in that position to give a contest. He got a shove in the back. Accurate call, 2 hands. Lonergan pushed him in, split the pack open. The Cats defenders sprawl everywhere. An easy goal at the back, Richo.
They're just dominating at the moment, Dawson. A real indicator of that is always the marks. 15 marks to 2. They just cannot maintain possession, Geelong. I think we're going down to Cameron Lynn.
Yeah, Richo, you're talking about the marks there. It's been the contested marks. Geelong set up to stop the ball and be able to slow the opposition down. But when Freo keep taking these contested marks, led by big Sanderlands, it's just killing Geelong's defensive structure.
Doesn't stop shortly, I reckon. Lingy will be running out there to enact that process for them. Oh, head down. Main won a tough one. Spinning pirouette was magnificent. Sanderlands on fire. 2-on-1 against Bradley, Scarlett and Harry Taylor. But look at the wall of Fremantle players lining up to send it back. Dawson in the end, long way from home. Subin in right, just positions his body nicely against Kepler Bradley. Now the switch is on to Mackie. They go Kelly, still on with Mackie if they want. Smets. Short ball, in fact it was Guthrie that got it into Stokes. And now McFarlane at half-back.
Yeah, another poor option for the Cats. It was a kick to a contest where you've got Luke McFarlane, one of the better overhead marks on the ground, up against a much smaller opponent. And the efficiency stats at the moment, Fremantle 75% by foot, Geelong going at 40%.
Ross Lyon would not be pleased with that kick. It was a risky one from Subin. It didn't come off to Pavlich. And here's McPhee trying to bore a hole through the pack. Chapman hurried the kick, got it away. Johnson closing. Opportunity with a fist from Broughton. Mzungu was there now. Fyfe. A really good user. He draws Kelly nice to the ball. And he tries to chisel it to Ballantyne. No mark. And an injury down there with De Boer. And the sub warming up already. The sub down there, Michael Barlow. The magnet. Head contact there. Fyfe. So De Boer in a bit of an argument, and a 50-metre penalty here will bring Nat Fyfe within about 25 to 30 metres. Geelong just a little flustered at the moment. Kelly and Clark going at it too.
There's a reversal here, BT.
Reversal back up here.
Reversal. That was
Steve Johnson.
Hayden Ballantyne.
Steve Johnson.
That's not great from Ballantyne. Stevie J sucked him in. 60 metres back, a certain goal. This might be a big...
Oh, and Stevie J has put Ballantyne. So a double reversal. A double reversal. Never seen it before.
Go to the inside. Go to the inside.
And Ballantyne copped a little friendly coat hanger from Johnson. Kick goes down to Main. Beautiful pick up. Squeezed the trigger to Duffield. One of the left couldn't get it. One of the right couldn't get it. Centering ball. Fyfe! Unbelievable.
Well, there he is, Nathan Fyfe. He can take a contested mark, #1 at the club last year.
For a 30-point lead at the 13-minute mark, Fyfe, 5 straight for the Fremantle Dockers.
Have a listen to the crowd here at Subiaco. They are going off as Stevie J takes a little sit down. And let's have a look. The reversal initially sucked in, and Stevie J just went around the head. Ballantyne gets up. Didn't look to be a heap in it, but a double reversal, Richo. Ballantyne's a pest. This is what he does best. He loves getting in the face of the opposition. Look at him.
He is just a little mosquito. He's a fruit bat. Are they call fruit bats the pest? He just gets at you, and he did well. He sucked Stevie J in.
He is the boy from Mandurah. Ballantyne, raw bubble of enthusiasm. He's like one big muscle.
They tell me his teammates love him. Trains hard. He just competes and really gets under the skin of the opposition.
I reckon his grandma does too. She peeled off a mill for him. Out of the middle, Selwood. Chapman. Long ball, entry. Here comes Hawkins. Over the back, Ponsiati landed awkwardly as well. Zach Clark doing it all at the moment. Subin into tight traffic. Crowley. The ball use is good. Taylor and Bradley. Enright did really well tidying that up for the Cats, and the kick was nice to Chapman. Cats go forward again to the contested contest again. Ponsiati. Johnson, he's claiming the mark. He did fist it in my book. I reckon he was right to claim it. Think he was the only one that touched it in the end. Ponsiati has had quite a few balls directed in his way at the moment. Let's have a look at it. Possibly Subin with a touch as well.
Question for Lingy. It feels like uncharted territory for your old side, Lingy. You're not normally down by 5 goals. Is there some sort of structure or set play in place now to maintain possession, or is it a player-initiated thing?
It'll come from the senior players out on the ground, but first things first, they've got to get their hands on the footy. You've got to be able to get control of the ball, and then you'll see maybe them just slow it down a little bit with a little bit of keeping possession by foot. Just take the tempo off the game and get a little bit of control back.
Well, the Bartel smother might ignite some passion because it was good on Clancy Pearce.
Well, this is 2 clearances in a row where they've just held it inside 50. They just need to hold it down here for another minute or so now.
Big orange in there. Fyfe doing it at both ends. Sadlands has had 7 touches of the footy already in this game. Mazungu out the back door, and Subin with the boot up to Clark. Poor bounce. Chapman at the back, pursued by Crowley, and that's a win for Fremantle until he gave away the free.
Yeah, gave away for it. I get the feeling Crowley might be a player that really thrives under Ross Lyon. He loves a player that's disciplined, hard-nosed, prepared to do a one-on-one role, and it looks as though he's got Chapman in his sights today, Crowley.
Kick is good. Scarlett had to concede a little, but they maintained possession. Enright couldn't quite get it. Pearce made it difficult. Talk about him later as well. Seems to have lost a lot of weight. Clancy Pearce. There's Main. Main looks out to De Boer. De Boer low to mark. They have to pick a hole through this, and they can't. Duncan. Handball to Mackie. Here comes De Boer. Talk about bore a hole through it there. It was magnificent. Head over the ball as Ibbotson. Top one high. Now that's 50. He went inside the 5-metre protected area there. He was at about 3 metres, and that's the second 50 against the Cats.
Well, they're rattled at the moment. They definitely are rattled. They're doing things they shouldn't.
Handball to Duffield. Duffield goes to Ballantyne. He's got it back into it. It's touched off the ball. No free kick there. Kelly is able to find Mackie.
Taylor, just keep it at the footy.
Ballantyne copping a bit of a whack in the back, but he looks okay to go. Mackie down the line. Stevie J will get a free. The advantage won't be paid. It'll be a Johnson ball.
It's a good effort by Stevie J there. Someone had to present long down the line. Not necessarily his job very often, but he had to on that occasion, drew the free kick.
So a lot of time for Fremantle to get into position here, and Johnson, as a result, concedes to Lonigan. Lonigan to Taylor.
What are we, about 12 minutes into Ross Lyon's first quarter as coach of the Fremantle Dockers. They just look a touch more organised. And the message we're hearing over here in Western Australia is that his message is so consistent. The players feel as though they've got an absolutely clear understanding of what their role in the side is.
Podsiadly, good grab. You're saying that Mark Harvey didn't have them organised? I find that hard to believe.
You always get a different feel from a new coach, Brian. Didn't say that at all.
Podsiadly, Hawkins, McFarlane. Hawkins around the corner, kicks at goal. I think it counts. It does. The Cats get their first at the 18.5-minute mark.
Live and interactive on Saturday night footy. A lot to like about the Fremantle Dockers and what Ross Lyon has been able to do. What do you like? We want your feedback. Get in touch with us here. Saturday night football live in 2012.
Sandlands with yet another touch. This is an important clearance. Well, they got too close to Selwood there. Was able to get a bit of it. Kelly to Johnson. Spun out of trouble. Handball. Putting Selwood under the pump. Did he have it? Fyfe. Crowley, Geelong players. Selwood did it beautifully to Corey. And now Smets, the Geelong Falcons boy. Mickey Turner down there at the Falcons factory. Another one. And this one is Billy Smets. Long ball, Podsiadly. Nice grab. Play on handball. Here's Duncan. 30 out and closing. Got it, Cats. 2 in a row.
Well, this is a terrific effort by Duncan.
Great effort there from Pavlich.
Back in the middle of the ground. Corey gets it out wide. Duncan. Over the top was McPhee. Might have infringed.
Jumped on his head, Adam. Straight foot on the full.
Heard the umpire. Jumped on his head. Now Geelong starting to get their flow back here now. Duncan goes long. Looking for Oren Stevenson. Knocked down Stevie J. Gee, had Bartel on then. Couldn't get it around. Handball comes back to Motlop. Umpire got in the way there of Duffield. Motlop's in and about. Main was there. Bartel, left foot snap around the body. Podsiadly. Geelong all of a sudden looking better.
They're looking a lot better, and this is the thing that makes this a great side. They don't ever doubt their ability to fight back into the game. If they get back at quarter time, they're 2 straight kicks down Geelong. They think they've weathered the best punch Fremantle could ever throw at them. You'd almost feel strangely as if momentum and the game swings straight back into the Cats' favour, Richard.
And I'll tell you, one player in the last 5 minutes has got them back into the game is Mitch Duncan. He's contested half back in the tackle on Fyfe. He then pushed 100 metres to receive off Podsiadly to kick that goal. 5 of the last 6 inside 50s going Geelong's way, so all the stats pointing to a bit of a trend turn in this game. McFarlane able to dispose of it. Corey over the top of it. McPhee. Stevenson, the big man from North Ballarat. De Boer somehow. Sandlands, scrappy. Fremantle weathering the storm just momentarily here. The kick wide wasn't great, and Harry Taylor will get a free.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
Well, the first half of this quarter, we saw Fremantle just waltz their way through half-back, have time, a couple of contested marks from Sandlands. That is more like the forward pressure Geelong are able to produce.
Here they come. Hawkins couldn't get a clean jump at it, got interrupted. Fyfe was desperate, but it's going to come back here because Enright's going to close this down, and he's going to get it deep inside 50 and accurately to Hawkins on the lead.
There's the difference right there. Fyfe picked it up. He had perceived pressure. He thought, I can't take a couple of steps because I'm surrounded by Geelong players. Well done, Stevie Motlop. You kick it out under pressure and it comes straight back to Hawkins, who presented well.
And you're spot on now. 6 out of the last 8 inside 50s. They've got momentum back. They've got the ball in their forward half. And if they kick this goal, right back in this.
And here comes Hawkins. 25 metres out, kick on the way. Tom Hawkins has kicked his second goal to just quieten the crowd here a little.
Well, what a great kick by Corey Enright. He didn't have a lot of room to manoeuvre that kick over the top. Found Tom Hawkins beautifully. He started well. A great snap, a great mark, and he set shot goal kicking. You get the first one, your confidence is up.
It is indeed, and it looks just that. Here's Cam Guthrie. Chapman was in amongst it. Stokes did well to clear it. Goes backwards to Harry Taylor. Taylor's got Motlop on and finds him. He's got a bit of dazzle about him, this young man. There's Corey on the boundary line, just trying to get it under to West, but not successful. McPhee did well not to take possession. They're all over him. And now Chapman wrapping up in the bear hug tucker will win this. No attempt made by Crowley, he said.
To him. No.
He's getting right into the game now, Chappie. Crowley's wearing him tightly, but this is his 7th disposal.
Just puts it in front. Beautifully weighted kick to Bartel. He protected the space, but just couldn't quite get it done. It was an intelligent kick, and it was an intelligent contest from Bartel. Mackie. They look happy, the fans, although just looking a little
Is that it?
scared at the moment, if that's the right word, because of the 3-goal comeback for the Cats.
Play on.
Through the pack.
Yours.
Kelly. Duffield got it, but he got wrapped up in the Tom Hawkins' vice-like tackle.
No, that tackle was legal.
Legal
Good
tackle.
hard, strong tackle.
Umpire suggesting.
Okay, Nick, I've got it.
In boxing parlance, it feels like Richard BT that it's Fremantle up against the heavyweight champ. They've come out and gone whack, 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 and hit 3 of the best king hits you ever could. And then the champ's just sort of gone, yeah, I'll take that and I'll raise you a little bit. And you're
Gone to the sniffing salt, you reckon?
a touch of that.
Aaron, you got the free kick. James.
And when you throw your best shot, here we go.
50 metres.
Third 50 against Geelong in this first quarter. And Chris Scott has had enough.
Take the kick.
You might ask Lingy, what would Chris Scott be saying now? 350's not good enough, Lingy?
No, not good enough at all. He'd be very frustrated with that. He doesn't carry on a lot, Chris Scott, but he likes his team to be very professional, very disciplined, and this just isn't good enough. He'll give the boys a bit to say at quarter time.
Did not look happy then, Chris Scott. Left his seat. There's Clancy Pearce. This guy elevated off the rookie list. Looks like he's trimmed some weight, given a chance. Only this week, back on the main list. Through his preparation and the commitment he's shown during the summer, has won another opportunity.
Yeah, it's great to see. Geelong's just got a familiar look about it now when you look down at the ground. Matty Scarlett has managed to free himself up. If he plays free, you're not going to get through. He's too good at reading the play.
That was the 50 against Podsiadly. McFarlane against Motlop. There's Hill. He hasn't been able to cut free yet. Johnson, beautiful. Gee, that opens them up. De Boer got Main over the top of the little one. Went Pavlich. Too far out for even Pav. Even though he's in the vortex half-forward flank. Kick goes wide to Bradley on the lead. Put up the one claw. Couldn't bring it in.
That kick back through the centre of Subiaco here for Fremantle is the one that slices the Cats open. If they can use that effective disposal through there, then their gut runs coming into play, Rich. They're really dangerous on that particular setup.
Sandilands. Kelly. Under some Crowley pressure and now Mellington pressure. Here's Mellington again. Now he got met by Chapman. Was that out of bounds when it happened?
That's enough. It was white contact. That's enough. I did. That's it.
Chapman pleading his case.
Oh, I think it was there. He definitely caught him high. His head was over the ball. We know that they're going to pay those every day of the week.
Now what's Mellington do here? He's turned side on. Looks like the left foot kick around the corner here. Unusual setup. Kick on the way. Looks damn good. Gee, knew what he was doing right from the moment he had the kick. So there is the kick. Chapman got him high, was out of bounds when it happened. And Mellington, the resultant goal.
Yeah, we called it beautifully, BT. It's amazing when you line up and you actually look confident about what you're doing, that it comes off. And the moment he lined that up on his left foot, it looked like he was never going to miss it, and it was a great kick around his body.
Almost a set shot out of the Geelong playbook. We've seen Stevie J set up at that right angle situation. Chap does that a bit as well, and why not? Yep. Yeah, rough. It's a modern footballer. They like to go through their routine. If you hit him as sweetly as that, keep doing it.
You expect it from those names you mentioned, but this is a guy that's played just 3 games of footy, Das, and kicked just his 2nd ever goal at this competition. So really great composure shown by Mellington. Subin missing the Valentine target. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Been a game full of goals.
It was an important goal, that one, against the flow of momentum for Geelong, because to me a 3-goal reward in terms of lead feels about what Fremantle need for how well they've played.
Corey de Bartel. 9 goals collectively kicked so far in this quarter. We saw a heap kicked in the big game Hawthorn-Collingwood last night.
Well, you never go in disappointed when you're leading, obviously, but after all that good work to get to a 5-goal-0 lead, there's no doubt they needed that last goal.
But they would have known that Geelong were going to come at some stage, Richard.
Yeah, of course.
I reckon to lead by a goal or 2 at quarter time, they'd still be ecstatic with that. Caught with the ball was Taylor Hunt. Still managed to get rid of it.
My ball.
Chapman has given them some strength around that forward area.
Thank you, Joel. Lead him up. Hayden. Hayden, yes.
I reckon at quarter time I'd be just talking about getting Matty Scarlett to man up. We might ask Lingy about that later on.
Brett Ritchie putting it on the turf. Ibbotson.
Free kick, Hayden Ballantyne, knocked down by James.
So there, Ballantyne's cheeky, he gives it. He's also good at making sure he receives a bit back so he can milk it. And he's done that brilliantly here. The bubble of muscle from Mandurah, Hayden Ballantyne.
Reminds me a bit of an old teammate of mine, BT, Tony Liberatore. He's got that in-your-face, aggressive style about him. Opposition players want to kill him, but as a teammate, you love him.
Every team's got one. Jake King, he's a bit Jake Kingish from the Tigers.
Got a bit of that about him. Main. Pav through the Lonigan tackle. Guthrie, did he get into the back of Kepler Bradley? The umpire said, keep going, boys. Wait for the whistle to blow. Don't stop otherwise. And now a free Fremantle's way.
Don't head flick. Don't head flick your head back.
It's always hard to get used to that decision. Jimmy Bartell will go at the ball all day long.
Umpire telling him not to head flick there.
I've never heard of a head flick, BT. Can you explain what he means?
I think he's basically saying you're faking the kick by flicking your head back. That's incorrect disposal. And that is a Motlop free kick. A great chase, and Chapman is not well.
Oh, some feeling in this game.
Stevie, hey.
Heaps happening.
Stevie, I've made a notice. Oh, hey, we've made a notice. That's enough. Yes.
Boys, the Geelong team are just remonstrating with Hayden Ballantyne, the old stirrer from Freo, and Chappie is down and in a little bit of pain there.
You heard Dean Margett say he's made a note of it, and I think there'll be a report out of that, preempting that. Here's Motlop comes back and kicks Geelong's 4th goal right on the siren. They get it back to a 2-goal lead here in favour of Fremantle. Now, Paul Chapman is in all sorts of trouble in the middle of the ground here.
And I'll be keeping an eye on the players as they come off the ground, because there's a heap of feeling at the moment, and a few people want to square up. They're looking at Hayden Ballantyne. There's a bit going on here, Richo.
Look at Chris Scott. He's in the face. You can't see him on the screen there. He is absolutely cooking Stevie Johnson at the moment.
And Matthew Scarlett has gone over, and he's talking to Matthew Pavlich in the huddle. He doesn't want to go back to the Geelong huddle. Hayden Ballantyne was being dragged as the siren went then. He was coming off the ground.
Unbelievable stuff here. An electric quarter of football. Saw the Dockers get out early. Geelong came back. We've got a 2-goal lead to Fremantle at quarter time. Stay with us. Back at it more in a moment.